put it in context, I didn't start coming out till I was 27. So that was the beginning of it all. But I suppose I've thought about it since. Within a year, I changed my whole life. I'd given up my job and I'd gone to college at 28. College was the first place where I started telling people and being out, really. What I did start doing when I was in Oxford was buying regularly Gay News, which was the forerunner of Gay Times. It was a newspaper format. And I found a newsagent that had it not far from the college. So I used to buy it on a Friday and, read it avidly. And one of the things I learnt about in there in 83, 84 was the Support the Miners group. I felt I was right up with what was happening in London, but I wasn't in London. But I was supporting the miners at college, and I was meeting miners from South Wales and their wives and all that. We had this collection. A lot of it was students, but there were staff as well, and people from the town, not just the college. And we've just raised a shed load of money for these people. So that was sort of, I felt I was close to miners support group, but I wasn't involved in it. And I was nervous about going to venues in London. I did find my way eventually to Gaze the Word bookshop. I used to drop in there when I was in London, but I never lived in London, so I didn't sort of get to know people. So that, my community involvement until I went to Kent was limited. So that's the background, really. At the university, we had the Gay Soc, and we also we had Tuesday Gay Soc meetings, Wednesday Gay Line. We took over the night line and we did the counselling. And I overlapped in 88, I overlapped between doing the university line and the community one. So in the end, I was telephone counselling and meeting people, befriending for 10 years in Kent. I had 10 years of intense community involvement over, and then not so much in Brighton. And my first year in Brighton, I went out a lot. It was like, I've never lived anywhere like this, I was out 7 nights a week sometimes to start with, So that is a big difference. It's all here, but then people have made the community. And I'm aware that I haven't contributed that much to it. Whereas in Kent, I think I did. But people who came before in Kent had set up the groups and that sort of thing. I suppose the other thing I do, I'm actually a University of Brighton mentor. But I don't mentor queer people ostensively. Although I'm sure the organizer that I deal with, I'm sure she knows some family, But I think what I've liked about the mentoring is that I tend to do that normally. People come into my life. I don't have to be their mentor. I tend to fall into that role.
Well, I came to Brighton about 20 years ago. I didn't know anyone here, and that's quite strange because I had a very big community where I lived. But I came down here, didn't know anyone, and so I had to search things out. And then I heard about Older and Out. So I went and met some people that I knew. I saw some familiar faces, and gradually I kept going, and it became my community. And I've just been involved with it ever since. And now, if I have a role of anything, I tend to get all the different speakers come and talk to us, or if it's not a speaker, it's some kind of activity, and I get people coming down. And so we have lunch, and there's about 40 to 50 now people that come for lunch the last Friday of the month. And we start off with coffee and then lunch, and then we have either an activity or a speaker, and the speakers have ranged from Cathy Caton talking about her gin to Bethan Roberts talking about her book, My Policeman. We had Nathan Field talking about his book about two older gay men who fall in love in a nursing home and marry, and that was really sweet book, and that went down very well. The speakers talk about whatever it is they're talking about, and then people ask questions, and we've had some really, really interesting and sometimes very moving experiences from that time. So I think that's one of the main aims of Older Now is to give a community feel. I'm a great believer in community, so community, friendship, just a focus, I guess. Yeah, it gives a focus to my life. I mean, say I've got a very good group of friends down here at the moment, and that's been vitally important. And I've been incredibly fortunate to have had them. But having something regularly to go to and be part of is fundamentally important. It gives you a structure. One of the things that you don't realise is that when you give up work, suddenly there is this vast space. And I'm quite okay in my own company. I quite like my own company. And certainly in times of grief, I do isolate myself quite a bit. And I recognise that that's not necessarily good for me, particularly as I'm getting older. It's fine when there are lots of other things going on in my life, like work or whatever. But now I'm in a different stage of my life, and I need to be doing more than I actually am. But it is vastly important having other people that you share some things with, and I think that's the beauty of Older Now and all of these other ventures that are going on. Places to meet and just talk to people and be part of something that is bigger and other to your own little world,
Used to come down with a caravan to the area, and that's how I found the Clare project, and that's what started it all here, if you like. I did it for a month, 2018 I think it was, and then the next year I did it for the whole of the summer. And then I thought, that's no good, I'm going to have to move here. And so that's what started it all off, the Clare project. Since I've been coming down, or since I moved here, I've been pushing myself to do more things, which I do all the time now. I've been on to the Clare project, Switchboard. I'm a health walk leader with Brighton and Hove City Council because they did an LGBT walk, so I started doing the walks. And then they hassled me to become a volunteer with them. I think the hard one I did was joining East Sussex Fire and Rescue because I didn't know what it was going to be like. I didn't know how I was going to be received. It was my first job interview in 40 years or getting close to that, and it couldn't have gone any better. My first one is Jemma as well, and it was fantastic, and it's been fantastic ever since. They are really accepting. I've never had a bit of problem with them. So, yeah, it's nice in the voluntary role to give back to the community as well. I've got lots of knowledge from my experience, and it's nice to pass that on to younger people. I think that's where I get most to know that I've given back and still giving back. I'm still useful at my age. I think that's what we all need, to know we're still useful in society. I see that regularly, so which is good. I've known I was transgender from a very early age. Well, I didn't know it was transgender. I knew there was something different about me. I didn't feel the same as others. Eventually worked out what it was. That was a fantastic feeling to actually come out and be me. And it just felt natural and right. And I think it's the best place you can come out. And you can be yourself and generally feel safe. It's been a wonderful journey. And I'm still on it, hopefully. Yeah, it's been really good. It all happened very quick with the gender clinic because I got transferred to them. I had my first appointment, my second appointment, all within 3 months of my diagnosis as well. So it happened really quickly. So I've been waiting for 4 years, 8 months for an appointment. and then boom, it's all happening. So, which is nice, a very nice feeling. Although I thought I couldn't be happier, I was. Life is good. I love it.